Chapter 14. Who is this? Siddle was certain that she had never heard of this name before, but she flipped through the entire notebook, only to see this person's name crossed out in red. What did it mean to be crossed out? Shit. Like a shadow, Siddle felt that maggot-like gaze in her bones. She even heard its voice rising in her head, a resentful voice. Shit shit shit. The little girl clattered shut the notebook, her face unchanged as she pushed the door open and walked out. What secrets did this person named Charles Grandy have? Perhaps she should go investigate somewhere else. It took too long to explore the kitchen at the back of the hotel. When Siddle sneaked closer to the lobby, the surroundings were completely silent, and there was no longer the sound of her parents arguing. When she was about to enter the lobby, she suddenly stopped. She heard her father, Kelson's voice, only vaguely but not clearly. It seemed like he was still laughing. If there was no one in the lobby, then who was Kelson talking to? Siddle stood still, quickly turned off the headlight above her head and hid in the corner. After hiding there, she hesitated, then took off the headlight and placed it on the ground, took off her shoes, hid the flashlight in her hand behind her, and walked lightly to the lobby. The girl had long blonde hair tied high on her head with a leather strap. Her white skin gave off a cold feeling in the dark. She walked slowly, her bare feet lightly walked on the shiny floor without making a sound. She stopped in front of the side door behind the lobby, carefully looking in. Siddle was startled and stood still. At this time, the lobby was lavishly decorated, not immersed in the quiet darkness, but brightly lit, with bright green and yellow lights. Guests in shiny silk clothes came and went, laughing and talking happily. Everyone's face was cheerful. She saw her father's figure with sharp eyes. Kelson's figure. He was standing with a man. The man seemed to be a hotel waiter, neatly dressed. His uniform was neatly ironed, the clothes highlighted his tall figure, his muscles were clearly visible under the clothes. Siddle remembered her father was 1m80 tall, but he was a head taller than him. This was a strong male waiter. It seemed that he accidentally spilled wine on Kelson. Siddle saw him bow to Kelson to apologize, then took out a handkerchief to wipe the stain on Kelson's body. Kelson waved his hand, intending to go to the bathroom to clean his clothes. The tall male waiter immediately followed him. Seeing this, Siddle quickly ran to the men's bathroom from the back door. During the month she stayed at this hotel, she had already clearly explored the structure here. She was obviously faster than Kelson and the male employee. When Siddle entered the men's restroom, the two of them had not yet arrived. She glanced around and saw a metal box used to hide electrical wires under the ventilation pipe in the corner. It was obviously not safe to hide in there, but the current situation did not allow Siddle a choice. The footsteps were getting closer and closer, and she quickly crawled inside. The 7-year-old girl's figure was petite and small, and it was not too tight to squeeze in with the electrical wires. Looking through the small gap, Siddle could see a little bit outside. She covered her nose and mouth, trying to keep quiet, not even daring to breathe normally. 2 pairs of feet walked over, and Siddle recognized Kelson's leather shoes. After a series of rubbing sounds, Siddle heard the 2 people start talking. Mr. Grandy, she heard her father ask, did you used to be a gatekeeper here? Her father had always been gentle and polite, but his voice at this moment sounded a little strange. The name Grandy immediately made Siddle think of the name that was crossed out in red. Charles Grandy. No, sir. The person called Grandy smiled and asked, why do you ask? Kelson smiled awkwardly and replied, no. Nothing. Are you married? I am married, Grandy replied. I have a wife and 2 daughters. He seemed to be helping Kelson wash his clothes, their feet standing very close together. So where are they now? I don't know, sir. They must be nearby. I don't think they will be too far away from me, and they won't leave this hotel. Grandy, you fooled me, Siddle heard the man's angry voice, but immediately after that he laughed smugly. I saw you. You were the gatekeeper here, I saw you in the newspaper. You chopped your wife and children into pieces and then swallowed the knife to commit suicide. The frictional sound stopped. The surroundings were quiet, and the bathroom was dead silent. After a long while of silence, the person called Grandy suddenly laughed strangely. "That's strange, sir," he said. "I don't have any impression at all. Moreover, you've said one thing wrong." He continued laughing. "I'm not the gatekeeper here now. You're the gatekeeper. You've always been the gatekeeper." After a while, Siddle heard Kelson chuckle. "I don't understand what you mean," he muttered. "Your daughter, she's not as obedient as you think," Grandy said. "She always sneaks out of her room late at night, intending to cause trouble for you. You should stop this behavior." Siddle, the person who was making a nest in the metal box, was suddenly called, scared to death. "Siddle is a bad kid," Kelson muttered to himself, receiving Grandy's agreement. "Yes, she is a bad kid. Bad kids must be punished. Bad kids must be punished," Kelson continued to repeat, like someone without his own thoughts, but his voice gradually carried anger. "She's always doing things her way. I think I've been spoiling her too much, that's why she did such things." Siddle was in the metal box, clenching her fists, her heart filled with anger. She really wanted to rush out and punch the person who was hypnotizing her father, but she found that she couldn't go out now, and even had to keep quiet, so that Kelson, who seemed to have become strange, wouldn't find out. "I hope my words don't offend you and your family." Grandy continued to speak gently. "I think you should know what to do. That's right, don't forget the child's mother. I think if you want to punish your daughter, the child's mother will not agree. But no one will be able to hinder you," Grandy said with a smile. "Sir, when my wife and children wanted to stop me, I severely punished them, and in the end they voluntarily stayed at the Overlook Hotel. Even my little daughter, who originally wanted to secretly burn down my hotel, agreed to stay here. I think this is the time for you to show your power to your wife and children." "That's right," Kelson said hatefully. "I will do so. Thank you very much, Grandy, for reminding me." "Then, sir." Siddle suddenly saw a pair of feet walking towards the corner where she was hiding. "Now, you should do your duty," she heard Grandy say. "First, you must punish your naughty child who likes to cause trouble. She's right behind you, in that metal box."